Welcome to Can I Park Here? Brought to you by FindAFashionTruck.com. Nashay and Estrell's mission is to inspire future and existing small business owners. They don't claim to be experts. They're simply trying to figure this all out, just like you.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Can I Park Here podcast, brought to you by FindAFashionTruck.com. My name is Nashay Snow, and I'm here with
Estrell Riles.
As always, if you want to catch up on past episodes, you can get the show notes at startafashiontruck.com, along with other helpful articles about improving your brand and your photography.
If you want more information from us, you can also sign up for our newsletter and be updated on all events and just keep up to date with what Find a Fashion Truck is doing.
Today, we're talking to Leslie Cox of the Pooch House, which is awesome because it's another unique mobile retail business that isn't kind of the traditional fashion truck businesses that we normally feature. And that doesn't mean we don't love our fashion trucks because, you know, we're fashion junkies. But we wanted this month just to highlight a couple that are a little different to show you that you can almost have anything and everything in a truck.
Yeah, and it's so cool how Leslie actually hand makes all of the items that are in her mobile boutique. She has dresses, bow ties, collars, everything under the sun that you can think of for a pet. She has it.
And I think this is another good example of a truck owner who had an idea and just kind of went with it, because she's also has been operating for less than a year. So I don't know about you, but just hearing all these stories just kind of inspire me. It's like, if you have an idea, then just do it. Don't lollygag. Don't think about it. Like, go for it. You know, that doesn't mean don't come up with a plan, but don't take forever to execute it.
Yeah.
But let's get to it and hear more about the Pooch House.
Here we go.
Hello, Leslie. Thanks for coming on to Can I Park Here?
Hello, Nashay and Astral. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. We're really excited to have you on because your mobile retail business isn't like the traditional fashion truck. So I think this will give people like some ideas of what they could do with the truck. It's so cute, the Pooch truck.
Thank you.
But even before we kind of get into like the truck itself, can you just tell the listeners a little bit about you before the truck and then why you decided to start it?
2009, I was gifted this little tiny Yorkie. She was like 1.5 pounds when I got her. And I have 2 boys, 2 sons. And so I never could do anything fun dressing them up. So I knew as soon as I got this little dog, I was just going to spoil her and dress her up. And we were going to have a stroller and a car seat and the whole shebang.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I know. I became the crazy dog lady there at that point. So, I would go and I would shop at the big box stores, and it's not that I didn't like the clothing, but it was like I was spending so much for it and I couldn't utilize it the way I wanted to. It didn't have a D-ring. I had to put a harness on top of it. It was just I just didn't like it. And so then I got online. I saw there's a lot of people that they're making their own dog clothes. And I thought, that could be fun. So I taught myself how to sew. I took some community education classes and I just kind of did that here at home for her. And then my stuff started getting better and better. And people started saying, if you sold that, I would buy it. So in 2013, I started doing small little craft shows. I'd have one table, just a few items. And that's really how it started, just by making these little dog dresses.
Wow.
Aww. It reminds me of Nashay. She always dresses her dog up in like Halloween costumes, Christmas sweaters. I'm like, oh my God, Nashay, really?
Well, it's like people like buy stuff like the Santa costume. My grandfather purchased it for me, so I had to put it on him. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
And he's my fur child because I don't have kids, so that is my child.
Exactly. And there are so many people just like you that their dogs, they're their kids.
Yeah.
You know, and they want to spoil them just like we spoil our skin kids.
Exactly.
Skin kids.
Yeah, we've got fur kids and skin kids.
Nice. I love it. So how did you make the jump? Like, what made you decide to open a mobile boutique?
Okay. So I'm selling my little dog dresses, and more and more people are coming. I'm having to make more and more dog dresses. And then I thought last summer, I said, you know what? I'm going to buy some toys and some collars and stroller, things that I would want to buy for my pup. I said, I'm going to start buying these things wholesale and see if I can sell them in my booth at these craft shows and that kind of thing. So then at this point, I don't have a truck. I drive a car. My car was overflowing with stuff, table, racks, all my display items, plus all my merchandise. So my husband, one day we're driving down in downtown San Antonio, and they don't have a pet store in downtown. I said, man, when am I going to win the lottery so I could just open up my own pet store? And he says, you know what you ought to do is go buy one of those big trucks that they use for like food trucks and turn it into a mobile store. And I was like, shut up. Who would ever do that? And that's what I was like, there's no way. So that night I get on Google and I start Googling retail truck, mobile boutique, and all these fashion trucks started coming up, in big cities, East Coast, West Coast, up north, everywhere. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there are people doing this. I went and told them, I was like, you're not crazy. So we did. We started researching it. We went and I got a small business loan. I went to my dad. He gave me some money and we started shopping for a truck. And we said, this is what we're going to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
So with the clothing for the dogs, do you only make clothes for female dogs, like dresses and things, or do you open it up to all types of pooches?
I do make for the boys. I'll tell you, the boys are tougher to make for. For boys, I make harnesses. I'll make bow ties, regular, like the long tie, kind of like business looking ties. Gosh, what else? I make cuffs for the boys.
Nice.
I call them.
What about little booties?
I do not make booties. No, that's not anything I have even thought about making, honestly. But yeah, for the boys, they are tougher. So boys, it's bandanas, bow ties, regular ties, and the little cuffs and that kind of thing. And then I do carry some shirts that I buy wholesale, T-shirts. I've got some Hawaiian style shirts, that kind of thing.
Okay. And is it just a pet store, or do you also do grooming?
I do not do grooming. That's so funny because that's everybody's first question. How much to get my dog washed? No, I don't do any grooming in that truck. It's just retail.
Before you got the truck, as far as sales, were you selling things online? Did you have like a fair amount of sales? And so it was just naturally the next step to like get a store and then and of course you decided on a truck, or did you decide to open a boutique because you figured that would help with the sales and help you like bring the boutique to the next level?
I would say that it was probably that I wanted to grow the business. I thought that opening this truck would get me, greater sales, more exposure, that kind of thing. My sales were okay before. I did not do online sales. I did try to do some Etsy, but it's only me. I do all the sewing. I would go to all the shows. I couldn't keep up with everything. Mm-hmm. So I thought, well, you know what? This truck, though, is going to cause a lot of attention, which it does. And it has helped in sales. I will say that summer is my slowest time of year because we get so hot down here in Texas that you can barely dress yourself, much less your pup. So, it's been a slow summer, but I can already with September, I've already, things are picking back up. So I'm feeling better about things.
Right.
When you first got your truck, did you get a brand new truck or did you get a used one?
Oh, no, ma'am. It was a used truck. It's a 91 GMC. And I know there's those numbers that go with PE30. I'm not sure. I can't give you the exact specifics. We bought it from a lady in Houston that she was going to turn it into a gelato truck, and her partner, they broke up, or the business. I'm not really sure what happened. She was tired of paying a storage fee for it, so she put it on Craigslist, and that's how we found her.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
And how much work went into renovating it?
It was a really nice truck. The inside of it was just an empty box. So it was like almost like a blank canvas. My husband did all the renovating himself. He put in laminate flooring for me, and we installed slat walls. I mean, we kept it really simple. We painted the inside of it, and I hung some curtains to block off the driver's area. And the back of it has a ramp that comes down, so people can just walk up the ramp right into the truck. So we didn't need any modifications there. We had that. I guess the biggest expense was probably painting it and putting the graphics on it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And that was the only thing that we had to, I guess, hire a professional to do, was paint it and install the vinyl graphics.
Now, how did you go about, so you get the truck, you get the graphics and everything put on and the interior put together. How did you go about marketing yourself, just putting yourself out there in Texas?
You know what? I am still struggling with that. I think that marketing myself is probably my weakest point. What I did is I put together a press release and I sent that out. I did get one local morning show that had me on a Saturday morning at 7 a.m, but still it was something.
Right. Woo!
Exactly.
That's early.
It's not exactly prime time, but so let's see, what else did I do? Just recently, I've had the truck open since November of last year, so I'm coming up on a year. What I've also done is I've started hitting the apartment complexes. I just walk in. I take my iPad. I created a PowerPoint on my iPad. I walk in. I ask to talk to a community manager, and I just tell her who I am, what I do, and I start showing her pictures. And so far, it's worked.
Okay. Because I guess they get to see the overall concept. People love it. Almost everyone has pets. So it's a way to get the community together and have fun and dress their pets. And if the, people working there are pet owners too, they probably will instantly fall in love.
Yeah. Yes, Sam. It's been very positive feedback, and also, I had developed a lot of relationships with the local markets, because I would go and set up my table and that kind of thing. So getting the truck, everybody they were really, really good about accommodating the truck. Now I was no longer a 10 by 10 tent. But they were like, that's okay, we'll find room for you. And no one shot up their booth fees, something crazy, because now I was twice the size or anything like that. So I'm really grateful to that, that they have worked with me.
Do you ever set up shop outside of dog parks?
I don't. And the only reason I have not done that yet is because San Antonio doesn't have any type of licensing. They don't know. If I've called down to the Parks and Rec, I've gone round and round. They don't know if I can do that. I may get ticketed. They can't say if I will or not. So I just have not done that yet. But yeah,
or maybe you can hand out flyers at the dog park. Hey, why don't you come to my mobile boutique?
Yeah, that's absolutely. I joined Meetup. There are a lot of breed-specific meetup groups in our area that they meet at this certain dog park that's a huge park here in San Antonio. And so I've actually reached out to a couple of those groups and said, hey, why don't you invite me out?
Right.
See if that's a way around it, and I haven't been able to hook anybody yet, but I'm working on it.
Well, I feel with pets, I forgot the percentage of people in the U.S. that own pets, but it's a very large percent. So there's a lot of opportunity there. It's just, I guess, finding the time, because if you're making the clothes, manning the truck, and doing marketing, not just trying to find places to go, but also social media too, that's a lot for one person.
Oh my God, it is. It is a lot. And my husband helps when he can, but he has a full-time job. And as far as the sewing, my mother-in-law, she comes in and she helps me. But she's very limited to what she will do as far as sewing. She'll, as far as the steps that she'll do, because she's always afraid to mess something up. So, and I'm just not at the point where I can hire someone yet. But believe me, when I am, that's the first thing I'm going to do.
Right.
Were you working a full-time job before you started doing the sewing and?
No, actually, I had another work at home job. I own another business as a scopist. And I don't know if you've ever heard of scoping before, but what that is I edit court transcripts, depositions, that kind of thing for court reporters. Court reporters, they write in shorthand, and they drop things that the people say, or things don't translate correctly, or they write a huge paragraph that needs to be edited down to, sentences and that kind of thing. So I was doing that for probably 7 years here at home. And then what happened was in 2012, my mom got really sick, and I had to drop a lot of my clients because I needed to be with her at the hospital and everything. So after my mom passed away, I said, I don't think I'm going to go back to scoping. I think I'm going to do this dog thing. I'm going to make a go for it, And so that's really how, I decided I'm going to go full on with the dog stuff and that kind of thing. But yeah, I've been working at home basically since my second son was born. He was born in 2005. I had a part-time job when he was a baby, and I was like, this just isn't working. So I started working here at home.
Well, now this seems like a lot of fun too. You get to meet people, meet all these different dogs. It kind of gets you kind of out there. I don't know. It depends, I guess, if you're an introvert or extrovert. But as an extrovert, I would love it.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. You hardly ever meet anyone out with their dog that's in a bad mood. Like, people are out with their kids. Sometimes they're not in the best of moods. But they're hardly ever upset when they're out with their dog.
Right.
Out of all the adorable little products that you have in your truck, what is the best selling item?
My best-selling item would be my Spurs dress. Here in San Antonio, it's like the law that you have to be a San Antonio Spurs fan. So I make it in a couple of different styles. I embroider it's not the exact logo, because obviously that would be a copyright infringement, but it's very similar logo, and that is probably my most popular item is the Spurs, especially coming up now. Basketball is going to start up, football. I also make a Cowboys dress and harness that people are already asking when I'll have that one ready. So those are my two biggest sellers is the sports stuff.
Do you hand embroider or do you have a machine?
I have a machine. Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't imagine if you had to do every single item by hand, it would drive me nuts.
Yeah, no, I have a machine, and then sometimes that machine drives me nuts, but yeah. I don't even know how to hand embroider.
Right. Now, do you think that you're going to move into online sales, or are you going to just stick with strictly selling your inventory out of the truck?
No, I absolutely have to move into online sales. Lately, I've been taking some digital marketing boot camps and classes that our Small Business Development Center, they offer. And I realized that I'm putting all my stuff out there. I'm saying, oh my gosh, look at how cute so-and-so looks in her new dress. Look at how cute this is. Look at my latest style. But I'm not sending them anywhere. Finding me at an event is not convenient for everyone. I've got to give them the online destination to be able to purchase the item. I've identified that. I recognize that. Now I've got to do it.
Now, would you ever sell your stuff wholesale too?
No, because that's just a lot of work. Supplying someone else plus my inventory. No, I just, there is another local mobile boutique. She sets up under a tent still. She doesn't have a truck or anything like that. And she buys all of her stuff, and she has bought dresses from me, but only maybe 10 at a time. So that's doable. But a real wholesale, I don't think I could do that.
That
No,
would be a
now
lot.
the person that you're talking about, does she only do pet items?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Has she kind of maybe infringed on your business, do you think? Or are you guys just like amicable? Like you're
No,
living far apart?
yeah, no, we only one time have we ever been at the same event, but neither one of us felt that our sales were hurt by the other one being there because we carry totally different products.
Right.
Okay.
And I've been fortunate in that situation because most of my stuff is handmade. And,
Right.
and so, yeah, I've lucked out there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, even
Mhm.
if you're by two big box stores that are similar, like it could be even like Target and Walmart. Usually there's things you would get at one versus the other. So as long as they're different enough, the boutiques, yeah, you don't really have that competition.
Especially like with the
Exactly.
branding.
Mm-hmm.
Because like
Right.
if I'm looking at Target or Walmart, I'm probably gonna choose Target if it comes down to just branding itself. But if
Right.
I'm looking for cheaper prices, then maybe Walmart will be my first choice. So.
Yeah, exactly. There are certain things I go to Target for, and there are certain things that I go to Walmart for.
Yeah.
So and everyone is like that. I think everyone.
Yeah. Now, what is like the average price point for your items?
Let's see. My clothing starts at about $16 up to $30, and toys run anywhere from $5 to $20. So I don't know, about $15, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's really affordable too. So even if you were able to, hit those dog parks, like that's, most people carry like maybe $20, $40 on them. So
Right.
they'll easily have the cash. Now, do you use, what point of sale system do you use?
Right now I have Square.
Yeah, Square's the popular one.
It is.
That one always wins. Yeah.
It's super easy to use, and yeah, I mean, I like it. I haven't had any problems with it. And it's recognizable. Everyone understands the Square. Do you have that little square thing? Yes, I do.
Yeah. And, I think it's like, and it's about trust too, right? Because even when I go to some of the craft fairs, if they have like a machine or they're using something that I've never seen or I'm unfamiliar with, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to walk around a little bit more, which is code for I don't trust that machine. But if I see like Square, PayPal, some of the well-known ones and, them using it with like either their tablet or their phone, then I don't know, you just tend to trust it a little bit more.
Exactly. And that's kind of what's my thinking is like everybody knows Square, so I'm going to stick with that. And, it's worked out for me.
I have a totally random question, but since both of you are dog owners, do pet owners like have like birthday parties for their pets?
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Because I know that people have like pet funerals and stuff like that. So I was just wondering like, birthday parties, that could be maybe something you can get into.
I have thought about that. I just don't know how to go about it yet. I know I have a friend that she does doggy treats and she sells at the farmers markets, and she just started making birthday cakes. So she's like, if anyone asks you, let them know. And so, okay, I will. But I don't know where I would fit in yet. I don't know yet.
Because what would you think is like you get your most success, like as far as like events? Is it really kind of like going to kind of like the big craft fair events, or do you go like to the food truck events? What's worked for you since opening up in November?
You know what? My best events have been yappy hours at at apartment. Yeah, it really has.
Hours.
That's what they call them. They're called yappy hours, and
wow.
The apartment complex.
Wait, it took me a while to get that. By the way, wait a minute.
I got it instantly.
Happy hour. Oh, okay.
And it's a great event to do. It's during the week. It's usually just a couple of hours. And the apartment complexes, they usually supply food, some drinks, treats for the dogs, and then they have a few vendors out there. And I've been very, very lucky with those events. Those have been good for me. I tried a food truck park actually, and I didn't do so good out there. It was almost like people were out there to eat and to listen to the music and to have fun with their friends. And the last thing they thought about really was to come over and shop.
Yeah, right. That makes sense.
I don't know. And there were several people out there with their pets. And I had some people come over. It just wasn't as successful as other events I've been at.
And then what advice would you give to future mobile boutique owners? Some lessons learned.
Have a maintenance fund, because if it can break, it will break.
Yeah, we hear that constantly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm also lucky in that spot because my dad actually owns a small parcel business. So he has a few of these type of step van vehicles. So he has a lot of connections. He knows a lot of ways around things, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm lucky with that. Just recently, I was actually supposed to head out to an event. I went to go get my truck, and a tire was completely cracked, like almost cracked open. And my dad's like, well, you can't drive it like that. He says, well, he's like, you can drive it because you've got another tire there. And I'm like, okay, hell no.
Like, not so much. Like, I'd be like, I'm not even going to risk it.
Exactly. He's like, oh, we do it all the time. And I'm like, okay, no, I'm not going to do that. So, so he took the truck for me, and he went and got it fixed and everything, got me a tire and stuff. So, again, but absolutely a maintenance fund, I think is the number one thing. And it's something that I did not think of and I didn't do myself. So,
we have a lot of people interested in like ACs and generators. What did you use in your truck?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, my husband did all that. He bought everything on Amazon. I know that. We had these huge boxes show up at the house. The AC he bought is the kind of AC you would find like in an RV. And he installed it on the top on the roof. It's a roof mounted. And he installed it there. And the generator I have, I just don't even know. I couldn't even tell you. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And right now the generator is kind of a pain for me because I don't have it attached to the truck anywhere. Oh. So I literally have to roll it out of my truck when I go to set up, go and pull it around the front, plug everything in. And then when I'm done at the end of the event, put it all and roll it back into the truck. Because I can't attach it to the back of my truck because that's where everyone comes in. And we just haven't, my husband wants to put it on the front of the truck. I'm kind of afraid to do that because I'm just a weenie like that. I'm kind of afraid to drive it with this big old generator on there. I'm afraid it'll get stolen. I mean, all these thoughts run through my head.
Yeah. Or if someone hits it, because normally like accidents happen in the front. And
Exactly. So that right now, that generator is a little bit of a pain, but I need it, especially here. Like, oh my gosh, even with the AC, it's unbearable sometimes. The month of August was harsh here in Texas.
Well, the good thing, I guess, about living in the South, though, is at least you get to operate year round, like versus the East Coast. Like once a big snowstorm hit, you're out of commission for a month.
Right. Yeah, no, you're right. I do. And I did take the truck out all year. I mean, we had a couple of really cold days back in January, February that kind of grounded me. But I mean, literally, when I say it's like cold days, it's 32. It's freezing, but I mean, that shuts down our city. And if there's any type of ice or anything, forget about it.
Right. It's like, oh my goodness. Yeah.
Which I can imagine you guys probably think that's ridiculous, but it's like an emergency.
Yeah, you know what? I heard I don't know if this was last year or what, but it was like this big thing. Like there was like an inch of ice in Texas and it shut down the entire city. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you serious?
Well, I feel like it's like, everybody makes fun of each other because I remember a couple of years ago in the DC, there was an earthquake and I forgot what it was. And everybody on the West Coast made fun of us because we were like, oh my God, the world is ending. There was an earthquake. And I think I remember
that. Yeah. I do. And like the little pictures were like, you have one lawn chair like
turned over. Yeah.
I do remember when that happened.
But it is so crazy because, like when that happens, I'm like, so let's say if there's a freeze in Texas or whatever, I'm like, why is the city shut down? That's no big deal. I'm from Chicago. I'm here. But I'll tell you, when that earthquake hit, I was like, oh my goodness, where are we going to go? Like, is the building going to fall on me? So I guess it's all about, well, it's weird because if you've never experienced something, then, or if you don't experience it often, then it's like weird, like be it snow or earthquake or whatever it is. But it was just hilarious. I just loved all the videos and the pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it does. It really cripples us down here when we get the cold. So, but you're right. I am able to keep it open year round. Like I said, the slow time for me has been this summer, but you know what? Now I've learned. And so next year I'm going to plan better,
Yeah.
It's all learning. Just got to keep going.
Well, this is your first year and it sounds like it's, it's going great. You're able to keep your products moving and yeah.
It really is. Yeah, I think it's great. Another thing that I've done is I partnered up with a local groomer that she has a shop and she didn't want to invest in any type of retail in her shop. So she's like, why don't you come put some of your stuff over here? And so that has been great because I will have people that are like, where are you going to be this weekend? If I'm not headed anywhere this weekend, I'm like, hey, you can always go to Doggy Styles. They've got my stuff hanging there. And so that has been beneficial to me as well. And what we did is we kind of had like a little pop-up event where we had food and drinks and, kind of like a little pet party. We had a doggy treat bar and that kind of thing. And we said, okay, now you can find Pooch House here at Doggy Styles. And we're planning another one for Halloween. We're going to have a little photo booth and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, a photo booth. Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Right. So you can bring your doggies all dressed up and have their pictures taken and stuff.
Love it.
Hey, Nashay, I don't know if you had a chance to look, but she has a gallery on her website, the Pooch House Gallery. Yeah. And it's like, I'm not a pet person, but these pictures are so adorable.
Yeah, they are cute.
So adorable.
But it seems like that's great for social media too, because then people can take pictures in your outfit and then tag you in it, and everybody loves taking pictures of their pets. So it's like a great way to have other people promote your business, which is awesome.
Right. Yeah, I love that. That is great. And it's so funny that you bring that up. I have a friend that on big shows, she'll come out and she'll help me. And she makes fun of me because someone buys an outfit, I'm like, okay, let's get a picture. And I'll always ask permission. Is it okay if we post it on Facebook and website? And, and some people are like, oh, yeah, sure, I guess so. And she's like, they act like they're so cool, like, yeah, whatever. But she goes, they're running home to look at it.
Right. Like, oh, did she post the picture?
Exactly.
She had the picture. You know it. Yeah, these pictures are super cute. So yeah, all the listeners out there, head on over to thepoochhouse.com and check out the pictures of all the doggies, big and small. Makes me want to get a second one.
Yeah, we can't forget the big ones. The big ones like to get dressed up too.
Yeah, they do. Like, I love the first one, Lima, I think it is, with the pink dress on.
So that's her Fiesta dress. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have heard of Fiesta down here in San Antonio. That's a huge thing down here. It's almost as big as the Spurs. It's like a 10-day party. And people in San Antonio go crazy at Fiesta.
Really?
Oh yeah. And everybody is included, including the dog. So every year I have to make my Fiesta dress and Fiesta hats and that kind of thing for the pups.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. When you have time, Google Fiesta in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whenever I have a few friends in Texas, so I'll tell them I'll only come down for the Fiesta. at least I could party a little bit. But, if it happens in the summer, I can't do it because it is so hot in Texas. I just can't.
It is. No, it's held in April. So it's not too bad.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. And the food, oh my gosh, you'll just bring some Tums with you. That's all I could say.
Nice. Well, we're going to just ask you a few personal questions to help the listeners get to know you a little bit better.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite podcast, blog, or book? And if so, what is it?
I don't. I'm sorry.
No worries.
I really don't. For reading for fun, there's this author, her name is Sophie Kinsella, and she writes these chick lit books, and that's kind of like my fun reading, just something silly to get wrapped up in. For podcasts, of course, I do listen to your podcast. There's another one, also with pet business owners, and I can't think of the name of it right now. But it's kind of like your podcast, your format where they interview, pet business owners and what,
neat.
What works for them and what doesn't work and that kind of thing. So I listened to that one. But other than that, no, I couldn't really say I have like a favorite now.
Yeah.
What's your favorite TV show?
Oh my gosh, Game of Thrones.
Really?
Yes. Oh, I love that show. Oh my gosh, yes. Right now it's not even on. They're on their break or whatever. And my husband and I, we still talk about it. We're like, remember that? Remember this? We've seen it several times. We're big fans of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I like it too. I have 5 episodes left on my DVR that I have to watch. So.
Oh my gosh.
I got to find time to get it in.
I know, that's the hard part, is finding the time.
Yeah.
So also with Game of Thrones, we also watch a lot of cooking shows, which is like totally weird, right? Game of Thrones and then cooking shows.
I know, that's totally opposite, right?
I know. But we do. We watch a lot of Food Network. We love that show that they have right now with the food trucks, the food truck race.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's really good. We watched that one, and the host, he's pretty easy on the eyes. So there you go.
Makes it nice. If you could have any celebrity, entertainer, model, athlete, whoever visit your mobile boutique, who would it be?
I want to say like somebody with a pet, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But my first choice would be Bret Michaels, which is the lead singer of Poison. Oh. Because I don't know, I'm like their biggest fan, and I just love him. And so, I'd want him in my truck, honestly.
Well, you know what? It doesn't matter if he has a pet, because if other people love him too, they'll be like, who's in your truck? And then they'll just come no matter what, and that's more people to buy stuff.
Exactly. So, that would be my answer, be Bret Michaels. Absolutely.
So what do you like to do in your free time to just kind of like wind down a little bit and de-stress?
Watch TV. Yeah. I do. If I don't have anything else going on, getting in the recliner and just watching TV. I'm also a big fan of Lifetime movies. Which,
oh Lord!
Those. It's like Lifetime is tricky because even if you just say I'm going to watch one thing, it'll suck you in like 5
Let me
hours
tell you,
later.
On Sundays is the worst day. It's been times where I'll wake up at like 10 o'clock and I'll turn to Lifetime, and I swear, like it'll be 7 p.m. before I knew it, and I'm just watching Lifetime all freaking day.
See,
I'm like, I can't believe my day is over.
Lifetime is dangerous.
It is. When I was working a full-time job, that was my weekend thing, was to turn on Lifetime, and then I do some laundry around the house and that kind of thing. So I don't have as much time now as I did when I was working full-time, which is really weird, right? But that's how it happens when you own a business. But when I get a chance, I'll flip on the Lifetime and I will get sucked into one of those movies. Yeah.
Now, are you Android or iPhone, and what's your favorite app? Android.
Oh. I know. I was an iPhone. I didn't.
We're Android people who come onto the show. They're like, no love.
Like, should I say anything?
I did. I had the iPhone, but it started. I don't know what it was doing. It was locking up on me, so I went in to get another one. And I was going to get the another iPhone, but I got this great deal on the S5 on the Samsung, so I went back to Android, and now I'm on the S6, and I've been eyeing that Note 5 already, thinking, how am I going to get one of those?
Right.
But as far as my favorite app, I like the Pic. I use Pic Collage a lot because I do so many photos. And so that way I can get, 3 or 4 pictures of the same pup, whether he's, with a new toy or a bed or clothing, and get them all together and put them out. Instead of separate pictures, I can put it all together. And I put the cute background, put some text on there, that kind of thing. So that would probably be my favorite app right now.
So our final question is, what would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail?
You know what? I would open up a brick and mortar. If I knew that I couldn't fail at it, that I wouldn't lose it or lose my shirt or anything else, I would open up a brick and mortar store, and I would do it different than the ones that are here in town. I mean, because we have a couple of pet boutiques. I would want to host weekly events, have people out, have a food truck out, have music, that kind of thing. I wouldn't want just some little strip center place. I'd want something different.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, that's what I would do. I would open up a store. Y'all got me thinking.
I know you're like, maybe. Now, do you think you would miss kind of like the freedom of like being at different places? Because, I feel like with a brick and mortar, which is cool, and I would love to own a brick and mortar too, but then you have to have like these set hours, right? Or somebody, if it's not you, somebody has to go in and open it at 9:00. Right. Whereas the truck is more like kind of free spirited hippie style. So do you think you would miss like being able to like just work whenever versus like on a schedule?
Yes, I would miss that. And I've thought about that because, I'm not going to lie. I've had tough times with this truck. And, and the thing is you can have a tough time on Monday and be on Thursday, everything has been flipped around. It's like the clouds cleared and you've got a great day. But I've thought, maybe this wasn't the right choice for me. Maybe I should just go back to a full-time job. And I think, I don't think I could show up somewhere on time and answer to somebody, and they tell me, Leslie, we need you here at this time. Well, no, I can't make it, because I am kind of like, I've been here at home working on my own schedule for so long that I'm just kind of spoiled now,
Wow. That's great. Well, hopefully one day you get to open it up and, business will be booming so much that you'll have like a staff. So if you don't feel like going in, you have someone else to open it up for you.
I like that. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
The dream.
Gotta have goals.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So where can the audience find you? Please give them any of your social media accounts, your website, and if you have any events coming up, please plug those also.
Okay, let's see. We've got our website, which is thepoochhouse.com. We're on Facebook, also the Pooch House. Instagram is the Pooch House. Make sure you put that the. And same for Twitter at the Pooch House. Let's see, events coming up. I don't have anything this weekend. Not until next week. I've got 3 yappy hours this month. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll be hitting those apartments here in town.
Well, Leslie, thanks for coming on and sharing your story and kind of like your lessons learned. And we really appreciate having you on.
Oh, you guys, thank you so much for asking me. I really appreciate it. I had fun, too. It wasn't even like an interview. It was like we were just chatting.
Right.
I think this was a really interesting episode. Normally I'm not a pet person. Nashay knows me. I'm going to say I kind of like 90% hate pets, but I think this is an awesome idea.
Really?
This is an awesome idea.
Wow. God.
It is. It's freaking awesome. And I think that she's going to do great with this. I mean, especially since all of her items are handmade. So that gives her an advantage over the retail boutiques that are in her area, because everybody's going to want to go for the handmade stuff. And she can also customize for her customers.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting. She's just kind of like in the beginning stage, she says like, and is still trying to kind of like figure out how she wants to market herself, but I think she's off to a great start with what was it? Yappy hour and then just collaborating also with some other like pet businesses. So she has like the right idea, you get into like something that's a little niche, has like a small community, but loyal, those little events. And, that's where you probably get the most bang for your buck instead of getting lost at these gigantic events or parking on a corner where people may or may not like come into your truck.
Yeah. And one key thing that she did that I actually would recommend to every new business owner is she mentioned that she sent out press kits. So she sent them to the local news outlets, etc., and let them know that she is a new mobile retail boutique in the area so that she could get coverage and put the word out that she's open for business.
Mm-hmm. And then also her idea about having like a little PowerPoint that was available on her tablet that she could take into businesses like, this is who I am. This is what, I'm all about. Like, please, like, let me, park here and sell my stuff is a great idea too. And you could use like whatever PowerPoint, Keynote, anything. You could even, use like something like I think Canva and PicMonkey put together some photos with text on it and then even show it in like iPhoto or whatever, anything that, will give you kind of like that slideshow presentation formula. So there's a ways to be really creative with it. So then when you are talking to someone, they have a good idea of what you're about and what you're trying to do.
Absolutely.
But we hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you haven't already, please head on over to iTunes and subscribe, listen to some other episodes, and rate us. It really helps out.
Yeah. And this is like a really like side note. I just want to tell everybody, like if anybody who's still listening, that I'm like really, 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 really like to infinity, like excited about my new mic.
I knew you were going there. I still knew you were going there. So anybody, if Estrell's voice was like driving you crazy before this and it sounded weird or you couldn't hear her.
So it should sound like way better now. But let me tell you though. So the first mic that I had, Nisha made me buy it. She bought herself like a big fancy mic, but she said, Estrell, since you're poor, this is the mic that you should get. So, I listened to Nisha and I said, okay, well, you should probably know better than me. You researched all the bloggers and, the best equipment. She said specifically, since you're poor, get this one. So that's the mic that I got. And it was crappy, to say the least. Okay. So I finally decided to venture out to get another mic.
I just hope like people don't really believe the stories you tell at the end of every episode. But
you know what? And okay, just to be honest, you may not have said that verbatim, Estrell, you're poor, but you did recommend that I get that mic.
No. Okay, people. So let me now. It's going to be a total side note. Jeez, we're ruining the poor Pooch House episode. Okay, so first of all, when we were researching mics, we found like an article that had like what was it? Like 3 different mics. It was like okay quality, better quality, and the best quality. And so just like a lot of the truck owners, when they say like, hey, if you're going to do it, go all out. I went all out. Estrell was like, well, I don't want to spend too much money. Which I totally understood. And I was like, well, hey, if they said even like the mic that's on the bottom of the list is pretty good, maybe you're okay. Maybe you should try it out.
Is that the story you're telling? Okay. But that's all right. I'm going to like let bygones be bygones because I sound real sexy with this new mic.
Oh, God.
That's the word I'm going to use. Sexy.
Well, I'll just say, people, if you can comment on like this episode, like on the show notes or in Facebook or Twitter, tell us if you like Estrell's new mic, because I think she has like 30 days before she has to like take it back.
15 days.
Okay. So
just vote sexy voice or nah. Okay.
Exactly. And that will let her know if she should keep the mic.
Okay, we've talked too much. We gotta go.
Okay, yes. So head on over to startafashiontruck.com. You can find the show notes to every episode. If you can't remember the number of the episode, just type in one of the keywords you remember in the search. It should pop right up. We love hearing from you. So please leave us a comment on the show notes, and a comment or a question, and we'll get back to you. And also remember, if you go to the contact page or the main podcast page, we have it where you can leave us a voice message, which is just a great way to say hello, ask a question, or even kind of plug your business. But please leave us a message. We'd love to play it on the air.
All right. So until next time, folks, thanks for parking here.